Hello everybody, today I'm going to be doing a review for Damon Leon's The Terrifier 2, as you guys can see here. Okay, so you guys can see the back of this, just so you guys, for those haven't seen it. So, the opening scene of Terrifier starts off with this guy, Art the Clown, as you guys can see, Art the Clown. He starts off by murdering this guy. I think it's like a factory. I believe it's like a factory or something. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like this building where Art just goes and does his gruesome murder of this guy that rips his eyes apart and does all kinds of crazy stuff in the beginning. But the thing that starts it off is that after that he goes to the laundromat in order to be able to he goes to the laundromat in order to wash his clothes off, to wash his clothes and have him clean again. So that is how it is. He goes to wash his clothes at the laundromat, and there's this one guy sitting there just watching him doing nothing. And then all of a sudden, like, I think it's like in his mind or something, that he sees Emily, the little girl, the little pale girl. He sees her at the laundromat also while he's washing his clothes, and he sees that she's kind of like we don't really know what's with her. In this film we don't know too much about Emily, or I guess the little pale girl. We don't know too much. We just know that she's sitting there on one of the chairs or one of the seats in the laundromat, and she just starts bleeding out of nowhere, just bleeding. And all of a sudden, after that, he gets his clothes after he's done washing. He puts it back on, and you just get to see the camera later when he's walking out. You just get to see that he murdered, or he brutally murdered the guy that was sitting there watching him. So that's how it went. But let me tell you something though about this film, is that this film is like 2 hours and 20 minutes or so, and it's long. Okay, it's pretty long, but I do have to say that for the time that it is, the 2 hours that it is, it feels short, even though it's 2 hours long, because you get to experience this murderous film, these brutal murders. So again, this guy Art the Clown, he somehow I guess he kind of gets like into the mind of Sienna Shaw in one of her dreams. Okay, in one of her dreams, he gets into her mind, and he kind of like brings like memories, or brings like a scenario into her mind that makes her say Art the Clown is back, and he's not done yet. He's not done with his brutal murders. Like, like when you watch Halloween, and you get to see that Michael Myers, he's not completely gone. He returns in some way, shape, or form. He comes back, and he ends up doing the brutal murders again. And the thing is that Michael Myers is the type of person that won't just murder kids or murder anybody just because he feels like it. But Art the Clown is different. He murders anybody. It doesn't matter if he's a kid, he's a good guy, he's a bad guy. If you just get on his bad side, or he just doesn't like you, he'll brutally murder you. Okay? So one more thing I do have to say while we're going through this film is that when she has this dream sequence, you get to see that she's like a little girl. I think Sienna Shaw's a little girl in this dream sequence, and while she's there, she gets to see, like, it's like a show. It's like you're at the I think it's like a carnival, okay, and you get to see that it's so nice in there. It's like a happy go. It's a happy scene. It seems like it's all great. It's going in the direction that it seems like it's going all great. But all of a sudden, you get to see that um, Art the Clown goes crazy, psycho. He starts burning people. He starts shooting people. He starts murdering people. Even in the dream sequence, you get to see. I guess I call it a dream sequence, but he gets to murder a bunch of people in the dream, which makes Sienna like frightened and makes her think, makes her feel like yes, he's back. He's not. He's not. He hasn't. The terror is not over. The terror has just begun. But while she's having this nightmare, she wakes up and she sees at her in front of her, she sees that her candles that she has on her stand, I guess it's like a stand, or on her yes, I guess it's like a stand, and they're on fire and it's burning, so she has to turn it off. And her parents don't trust her. They're like, we don't trust you, because they don't trust her. They don't trust Sienna Shaw, and they don't trust Jonathan, her brother, because at the beginning, like they don't trust Sienna at first because she she says, no, I didn't turn on these. I didn't cause a fire. I didn't start this fire. It happened after this dream, or after this sequence, this nightmare sequence. But like I said, in this nightmare sequence, it was brutal. It was brutal. He had like a machine gun. I think it was like a machine gun, and he started murdering and burning people and cutting people up in that dream sequence. But like I said, after that, she wakes up and she she just sees that the candles are all burning, and it's pure destruction. So um then you get to see like a scene. I think there's a scene where Art the Clown is in one. I think it's like in his lair. I guess you call it his lair, with the little pale girl, which is the little girl that's the clown, the female clown, and we get to see that we get to see that he's creating this wooden like stick, or a wooden bat, a huge bat, like it's not round, it's square, it's like cube. It's like it's like a bat from the bottom and like a cube at the top with a bunch of nails that he uses, that he will use in later scenes, where he brutally murders people again by hitting them in their back. But before that, there's another brutal scene that I do have to mention. Before that, I think there's a brutal scene where Sienna Shaw goes to like a a Halloween store to buy her costume, and right there she sees Art the Clown, and she's like trying not to think of him as she does. I guess they're trying to show you, the Damien Leon is trying to show you that like she's like imagining that there's the clown there, but I guess it's not. Is he's not there? They're trying to make you think he's there, but Sienna doesn't want to think that he's there, because if he's there, the stories and the evil stuff have to return her past, which she doesn't like that. So she's just acting like he's not there, while he is really there inside the costume shop. So the thing that this film has is that it has this comedy, while Art the Clown really does not talk at all during this film, but the comedy part is there, where he just decides, so I'm going to do these little funny stuff with my, like, be a little clown or be a mime or do these little silly things. And then after that, she buys her stuff and she leaves, trying to get away from Art the Clown. But as soon as she leaves, Art the Clown goes back and starts doing like he's gonna buy a costume, or he's gonna buy a certain like glasses or something from the Halloween shop. But then this guy, the store worker, he's there, and he asks, Art the Clown, are you ready to buy this stuff? Do you have the money? And Art the Clown is like looking through his bag, trying to take out stuff that he could give to the owner. I mean, to the worker. But um, it doesn't go well because Art the Clown says, "I don't like you. I don't like you at all. Okay, I don't like you at all," and he starts to disassemble him, dismember him is what I'm saying. He starts to dismember the worker and destroy his his head, and starts bashing him, starts cutting his head off and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And then later we get to see that the store is closed, is completely closed because they think it's closed for the day. But Art the Clown he's standing there like a statue, holding the one of the workers' heads like that. While I think this mother and her son are trying to go into the store to buy a costume. I believe it's a costume, and I think it's a costume that they're trying to buy, and they just see the store that says it's closed for the day, even though the little kid gets to see Art the Clown standing there with the head of the store worker. And the thing that I have with this film is that it shows you that they're not trying to show you that Art the Clown is like, oh, he's crazy, he's psycho just by being psycho. Like, oh, everybody knows he's like Michael Myers. No, he's not. He's nothing like Michael Myers. I'll tell you that. The reason I'm going to say he's nothing like Michael Myers is because Michael Myers, you fear him because you know he's there. You know he's evil. But with Art the Clown, people don't know he's evil. They just think he's just a guy dressing up for Halloween. Okay? He's dressing up for Halloween. So the only thing I do have to say is that the most brutal murder of this whole film is when Sienna's friend when Sienna's friend Ali is in her house by herself. Okay, she's by herself giving out candies, and Art the Clown just comes to the door and asks for candies, and he gets candies. But all of a sudden, she's up there. Ali ends up going up there to her room to try to dress up for her Halloween costume, and I mean with her Halloween costume ready for the Halloween party that she's going to go with Sienna Shaw. And the thing that goes wrong is that she goes downstairs to make sure that everything's fine and dandy. The doors are closed, everything's ready to go, so she could go back up. But at the same time, Sienna's calling her to figure out, are you ready or are you not ready? And this is going to be the most brutal murder because she goes downstairs. Like I said, she goes downstairs and she sees that the door is busted open, ripped apart. The door, I think it's like I don't know if it's a glass door or something, but it's ripped or broken. And Art the Clown is in there just having fun, just looking at her. I mean, just having his sandwich, I think, or drinking water. And then all of a sudden, he sees Ali and starts to walk up to her. Well, Ali starts running up to her room, trying to escape. And she's like, I've escaped. She thinks I guess she thinks in her mind that she escaped the clown. But then all of a sudden, he comes up and does this brutal murder. I think he murders her by having scissors. He cuts her head open or rips her hair apart and starts to destroy everything about her. Starts to cut her head. I think he first starts by stabbing her in the eye or cutting her eye open with the scissors, and cuts her head, and it's just brutal. Because after she's down, he starts to like continue to stab her in her back and stab her in her on the front and everywhere. And then all of a sudden you see that she's down, all bloody, bruised and damaged, and she's like, oh, oh, oh. And all of a sudden I think he starts to rip her fingers apart, like in half, and rips her arm apart, and it's just brutal. And after that, you're like, she's done. There's nothing else left. It's over. The whole thing is over. No, he comes back with vinegar. He comes back with salt and continues to create this brutal murder and throws it on her. He throws it on her back and she screams till she's completely gone. And then all of a sudden her mom comes in, and you see that she comes to her room and sees that she's gone. She's like completely gone, and I don't know how they still show her that she's still kind of like alive, like still like talk, like you could see her in pain. And I don't get to see a scene. I don't get to see the scene where the mom, we don't know what happens with the mom and the daughter, but we just see Art the Clown like waving, like, hello, I'm here. And then all of a sudden, like I said, the film goes a little cuckoo after that, because like they're at the Halloween party and one of Ali's friends gets again brutally murdered. Uh, she starts running away, trying to hide in a restroom, and he brutally murders her by throwing like acid or something on her face, and then uses the the bat or the squirt bat and starts brutally murdering her. And then there's scenes that are like really like you would have thought that they would have finished these characters off, but they didn't. Like a scene where Art the Clown starts beating on Jonathan, and you're like, he's done, but no, it's not. He continues to have his life, and then Sienna Shaw has to save the day, like we already know. And Sienna Shaw gets like she gets brutalized, but she's still alive somehow. And then all of a sudden Art the Clown throws her into like a pool, or like this like box that's filled with water, a clear box. And all of a sudden it looks like she's done, but then out of nowhere you see the sword that she was carrying throughout the scenes, or the previous scenes. And then it has some magical powers with her chain, and somehow it gives her the power to live again and jump out of the water like some magical, like fairy tale angel that she is, like fairy tale angel. And she jumps out, and all of a sudden there you go, she's here to save the day, and she brutally murders again, starts attacking Art the Clown all over again, and destroys him and finishes him off for the time being. So it's like crazy. So I do have to say that ending was horrible. Okay, the ending was totally horrible. It was a disaster. The ending for me was a disaster. So I'm going to say for this film, I'm going to say it was great. The cinematography was great. The way the film was graded was great. The pacing was not that great, but it was still pretty good. Like I said, the ending was horrible. Some of the scenes were like crazy, that you would say it's violent for the majority of people that don't really watch these types of things. And that's it. So I do have to say that this doesn't really get a 5 out of 5 or a 10 out of 10. This gets like a 3 out of 5 or a 7 out of 10. So that's my thinking. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll catch you guys in another movie review.